Welcome to Meditate to Resolve Suffering. This is the 5th video, and it's dealing with the body and how you have to command it. How do you direct it? Now, let's go through a quick review, real quick. First off, understanding the words I'm using. Clarity and being accurate is a must if you want to resolve your suffering in drugs, because they're tools. Your mind thinks in abstract words. What words you value determine your direction so many ways. So understanding the power of your language in your head. Understand you got to get rid of fear and anger and hate. Those are blockages for you to change, to see anew, to resolve your addiction. Now, this video, this is the 5th one. This is on the body. The other two, the 3rd, is on the breath. That's strictly introduction. You gotta understand the power of the breath, the way you breathe. How? The way you breathe is a reflection of your emotional, physical reality. Understand that statement. Next is the mind. You separate the brain and the mind. The brain is necessary for the mind, but the mind is outside the brain. Animals live in their brain. Humans live outside their brain. And what that means is that you have a point of reference that you create. The mind has a characteristic of having two forces at the same time. One is awareness, the other is consciousness. Blend the two together, and you got something greater than the whole, greater than the sum of the whole. Anyway, it's like putting nitro and glycerin together. You got a big bang, and that is the essence of the mind in this video series. Because you have to have a starting point. Now, the other aspect about it, I'm going to give you a couple words that you need to understand if you want to resolve your addiction. Don't think of recovery. Recovery is not possible. Why do I say that? It's time. You cannot recover time. You never can go backwards. You can, from day to day, as AA even says, it's day by day. Great, understand that, take it to heart. You don't have to go back. Humans have 3 abilities: past, think of the past, be in the present, or think of the future, dream about the future. Those 3 things that would blend together. That's strictly humans: past, present, and future. Understanding that ability will help you resolve your addiction to alcohol or whatever. But no, it's a futile attempt to think you're going to recover from alcoholism after a couple of years, 10, whatever. It doesn't matter. Every day is important. Every day you focus. Every day you can alter things about yourself, or realize something about yourself, or create something that's even more than before. So really understanding your potential. You're a creative person. Everyone's creative in their way. So really understanding this is about the body, but how do you work with the body is with the mind. And the mind, you got to really understand that center point. So I'm going to give you 2 basic words to think about to deal with how to shape your mind to help you resolve suffering, resolve addiction. One is be the captain. What does it take to be a captain of a ship? What do you have to know? You have to know the interior of the ship, the passengers or the cargo, and then you have to know the waters, where you're traveling to. Deal with all the issues involved. It's complicated to be a captain because the responsibility comes back to you. You have to take personal responsibility to change. Not everybody else, it's you. And the more you do that, the more you're going to grow in being fascinated, you know, about what things are. Captain's Adventures is always ongoing. The other word I want you to really think about, this is very critical, the word being a conductor of an orchestra, being a conductor of a choir. Because being a conductor, you're going to conduct 4 points in this program. One is breath, next is body, the third is the brain, and then the mind. You are the conductor of this. What does it take to conduct something and to meditate? Is that you have to know the breath and how the many ways you can use it to affect you, your body, your emotions, your mind, your brain. Then you have to understand the body. Now the body is very dynamic. It's us. And I'm going to say this is what you're conducting to. 1, you have 4 energy channels. 1 you can see, 1 you can't see, 1 you create, and 1 is spiritual, the spirituality channel. Those are the 4 energy channels during meditating that you operate between. You work with based on the word meditation. Meditation is a noun. It's something. It's like, I'll give you an example. When you pray, that's a verb. Praying is how many prayers do you have available to you that you pick to pray. Meditate is a verb. That's how I use it. In such a way, it is physical, it is mental, it is breath. Really understanding the 4 energy channels that you can direct, and you do every day in some way or fashion. This is all natural involved. So those are how it works. Now the other part, this is the real critical part that you have to recover. You have to understand when you do drugs, or like alcohol. I'm going to use alcohol, it's the most prevalent, but drugs have the same effect in another way. You take on the characteristics of the alcohol in such a way that it affects you, your personality. So you're blending the alcohol spirit and your spirit. The reaction to that can be either be passive or violent. Get meaner when you're drinking. So really understand, this is not simple. And resolving that bond between your addiction and you, that mind of yours, your personality. Now, I'm going to say something here. This is another complication that you're going to be working with. There's 3 areas, points that affect you, that affects when you're under the influence of drugs and off of drugs. There's the mind itself. Then there's the heart. What do I mean by heart? Where do you think your emotions come? When you're emotional, really exuberant, your heart explodes out there. You're loving, or you're angry. It hearts. When you're angry, it shrinks the emotional state of the heart. Now, how powerful is the heart? And you have to direct it. They can read, according to medical, your energy is producing energy enough to project 75 feet out from you. You're projecting your emotions through your heart, or lack of. Understanding the power, and then the soul. Now, for my purposes, I'm going to say the soul, the best word I can use, is fused with your body. It's the best word I can think of that really describes it. Understanding words is a must, so you create your path. You create a way of dealing with you. Everyone's unique. I'll back that up in 100 different ways. But everyone's unique, and take that to the bank. You're God's creature. You're created by God, and then you're endowed from Him and from your parents and their history and their parents and their parents. We inherit so much of our ancestors and appreciate that. We do not exist otherwise. In a culture of, you want to say, nihilism, which we live in, If you live in a culture of nihilism, it's like you can't see your value of yourself. But the breath is a key element. You have to understand the body, the mind, the brain, and how you treat your body affects your soul, which affects your heart, which affects your mind, that thing out there, because it goes through your brain involved. The mind is just, it's the brain, it's the body, it's your spirit, it's you, how you shape your emotional state involved. Now here's another statement I'm going to make. Your emotions are in your body. All events happens as recorded within the body. That's correct. There was a chiropractor in Long Beach, I think he's in Beverly Hills now, that can actually go down your spine and tell you what child you are, so much about yourself. All that's impressed. Your soul is fused to your body. It's integrated. So what you do to your body in one way affects your soul. Due to by choice or by accident or situation, it doesn't matter. This is what you have to deal with as a captain of yourself. As a conductor, you have the ability to orchestrate, to emphasize more breath, more body, more brain, more mind, to express yourself. Now, when I say do not think of ever recovering, now understand the word recovering. Understand that word. Now you can recover from your sickness. It's transitory. You can recover for a lot of it. But when you talk about addiction, you don't recover. You resolve it. I like the word resolve. You disintegrate it. And then by doing that, you start from that day. Every day is a new day. That is very true. But resolving and replacing, you have to replace. And you have to replace how you breathe, how you shape your body, and how. Those 4 energy channels. Understand that. And you choose which one do you want to work with. And then you put it together and express yourself. I'll get into that. Now, it's interesting, the word change. When someone says you want to change, you need to change. Well, you want me to move differently, or you want me to be different in some way? I want to use the word attitude. The ultimate change, everything behind your brain, imagine you got all this force and all that. And the ultimate goal when you go out in the world is to express yourself. And the way your attitude is and express yourself, other people respond to. They respond to your heart. Is your heart open or your heart is cold? Are you so focused, don't bother me, I'm too busy? Or are you sort of like, oh, who are you? What is your concern? How much fear do you have? Now, if you've been traumatized, either a combination of accidents, been shot, I know an officer was shot and he's really traumatized, or been in war. That's really traumatic because it lasts a long time. It's just not one event. Yeah. So really understanding all emotions are in the body, all thoughts are in the head. The mind, the brain holds abstract language, the words, but the mind is the, you want to say, the conductor. If you've ever seen an orchestra, many of you have never seen a real orchestra, go online and watch a symphony. One of my favorite ones is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I think it's by the Dutch symphony. And see how the conductor, how all that person has to know to bring forth something, to bring forth your attitude. What type of attitude do you want in life? That's the question. If you have a one to keep away from me, I don't want to talk to you, I don't want to let anything in, I'm holding myself. Or do you want to be that calm? Make judgment. Really understand through the body. Now, the 4 energy channels. Understand there. One you can see is your nervous system. And how the nervous system's connected to all your organs. Where do you think you get your energy every day? You get it from your organs. That's where do you think you get your emotions emotional ability? It takes a lot of energy to be emotional. You're ever really sick? How emotional can you get when you're really, really sick? You have to wait till you get well so you can make a judgment on emotion level. But you still have awareness in your mind. Remember, awareness is both you're being aware and you're conscious at the same time, and then you orchestrate from that point out. You conduct yourself all the way out. So understanding those four things in the body. 2, your body, if you want to say, holds your soul and your heart and the brain. Understand those 3 parts that you have to deal with. Your mind can direct it. I have a saying, what's the function? I'm using the word of function of the mind. Either directs energy, consumes energy, but never ever produces energy. Consuming energy, the more emotional you are, you're consuming. You can wear yourself out being emotional about something. Or you can direct it to your feet, to your hands, involved. The more you feel, now here's the key element, the key concept. The more you feel, the less you think. The more you think, the less you feel your body, your being, things around you. Because all your energy is going to thoughts. You're so aware. When someone's fearful, they're in their head so much, they don't even feel their feet moving or anything. They're just so tense. So really understanding, what does alcohol, I'm just going to pick on that. All the other drugs do the same thing in another way. What does alcohol do? It's one of my big studies. Well, the Greeks had it down well. When you drink, you replace your spirit with the alcohol spirit. And I'm just going by what I know. If I'm in error, correct me. Or don't dismiss, but the rest of it's right. The way I read, alcohol bonds with water. If alcohol bonds with every cell in your body, now mind you, your soul is fused to your body. It's integrated. So mind you, the soul and alcohol. And if you change your spirit, you affect your soul, you affect your heart, your emotional state, and your brain, which affects the mind, ability. You can be aware you're drunk, but you're limited what you can do. Because it's not you. It's not you. You're not physically. You have other influences. That's, if you want to say, influencing you. Since alcohol bonds with water, and then within 24 hours the alcohol is out of your system, but because of the nature of alcohol, it leaves damages. You come numb. Why do people drink? They don't feel. It lowers the body to feel physically first. Therefore, if you don't feel and select it, oh, I can be more emotional about this, and emphasize other aspects of it. Alcohol is a very powerful force if you consume it, either for her health, even for health. It actually can be beneficial for health at times, but not on a consistent basis. It's a matter of intention. Why do people drink? And it's not why people, each person drinks for a different reason. Event, as one great book I read, Love and Addiction by Peck, he really goes into the social psychology effect of when you start becoming addicted to alcohol or any drug in the whole process. So really understand addiction in there is the mind identifying with the effects of the drug on you and your desire to repeat it. Always remember, anything you do under the influence of alcohol cannot be repeated without the alcohol. If you try to do it, it's like watching a football game that you enjoy and you don't have any, you're used to having alcohol, it's not the same. Great, it's not the same. So how can you make it better? You have to resolve the old and replace it. Every day you resolve the past and then you bring in something that's more dynamic and involved. And the second energy channel, I said, one you can't see. That's your acupuncture system. Acupuncture is very powerful. Your fascia system and your lymph system. In fact, fascia and acupuncture has infinite sort of connection there and there from an energy point of view. Well, fascia is fluid, therefore there's energy flow involved. But understanding fascia, very few people really get into fascia. Fascia determines your range of motion. Fascia holds your emotions. Release the tension of fascia and you release an emotional state. Now, when you've been emotionally traumatized, when you meditate, as my old instructor says, you might tear up. That's good. You're releasing ghosts. That's all past. Why do you want to hold on to the past? Holding on to a negative past is like carrying an anchor involved. Remember the old Scrooge movie for Christmas, and he's carrying all that chains and weight, slows him down. That prevents any emotional tension of the body, blocks anything new in you. Coming more fluid allows you calmer. When do you come calm? Do you ever come calm? Why not become calm? Because your mind is feeling your body and the brain doesn't have any words to get you out of it. Understanding the power of language. Language, you cannot think of something without a word. A word defined and the level, the emotional content of reaction to a word is what you're going to develop over the past. The acquisition of language, and when you did from a kid on, you want to change, you have to change your language. What words you use, how you use words, and words you don't want to use from the past that doesn't produce the effect of being, for your own self, calm, stronger, more focused, and for others around you that want to enjoy your company involved, have laughs involved without alcohol involved. You can always have some laughs with alcohol, generally in a bar or whatever for a time. Then you come alone, and it's you and your beer, or you and your whiskey, or whatever involved. Like I said, it's a powerful force, alcohol is. Same with all the other drugs and how much addiction you have. And people do it either from a fad point of view or they physically. Since you're taking a drug from the body point of view that affects your brain, therefore it influences what you can think and mind and your breath. I say, you always know you did something that wasn't good when you wake up in the morning, you have a hangover. That hurts the body involved. So really understanding the opportunity to resolve. Now really understanding that word. Look it up, please. And understand the word resolve. That's why I said, meditate to resolve suffering. And the suffering of drugs is a key. It consumes time. Time is limited. You can never recover from alcohol. You only resolve it because of time. And the physical damage that it creates of taking alcohol over time. That's why they have a term called dry drunk. That's when you take enough alcohol for so many years, you can't tell when a person stops and he's acting just like he was drunk. What happened? Alcohol dehydrates the body. It dehydrates fascia, so it makes it rigid. And that feeling you create from the body is the same as the alcohol, so you don't need alcohol anymore. You're just acting out. When you drink alcohol, it affects a feeling you have in the brain that the mind is aware of, and the consciousness of it. And then the effect, oh yeah, I think this, or I could think that, or I'm 10 feet tall, or whatever. And you usually drink with friends or people, camaraderie. There's a camaraderie effect on that. Now, for female alcoholism, a lot of times more private involved. I have a saying for modern females that are not married or anything, 2 glasses of wine makes them feel fine. So how people use alcohol varies, but the effect is the same. It affects the body. Therefore, it affects your soul, your heart, and your brain. And how do you resolve that? Is day by day, you choosing to develop new words, new expression, and to resolve. Create a gap, a historical gap between your alcohol state involved. Same with the military. You were in war, traumatized, the whole thing. You know, if it was just pleasant, you just served, there's no problem. But if you're like really in combat, you had to be fearful, the whole 9 yards. Creating a gap between that experience in life there and resolving it by creating a whole new persona. I like that word, persona. Is real. There's a military reality, and there's civilian reality, and there's resolving the past involved. So this is a process, and it all begins of how you change the breath and the abstract thought. Now, really understand, meditating is a verb, meditation is a noun. It's like this. When you pray, what are you praying? You pick a prayer. Prayer is a noun. Praying is a verb. So you pick, so there's many forms of meditation. That's like you're an orchestra leader and someone hands you a sheet of music and you put it on a stand and you know all the parts you're dealing with and how to orchestrate those parts to affect the goal of the meditation. Meditation is like giving you the thoughts, saying, well, should you be walking? Should you be standing? Should you be kneeling? Should you be involved? Shaping the body. This is where the third point I made is shaping your body. The way you shape your body is an expression. You can make yourself humble. Now that word humble has been sort of distorted to me. In the old days, Jesus' time, humble was to be open. You're no fear. Okay, let's think about this. I'm humble. I'm open. Oh yeah. Humble today, so many times it's confused with being weak. I'm humble. Humble that person, so he's weak. He's low, and that is not. But I'm using humble means to be. Oh, I'm not trying to judge it right away. I'm looking at it. I'm using my mind to not immediately say no, yes, whatever. I'm opening myself up to consider anything. That's being humble. Otherwise, you're out there, I define the world. This, that. I define the world. I determine things. So understanding the way you define the world is the way your attitude is developed by shaping your body as an expression on there. So the alcohol expression versus the non-alcohol. Reshaping your body as an expression is part of it. Now finding techniques, and I'm using the word techniques, that incorporates breath, body, brain, and mind. That's the goal. That's what a good meditation program. Now, understanding the word meditation, there's two aspects to meditation. There's two types. One is secular, no God. The one is spiritual. Spirituality, there is a God involved. And understanding, sometimes learn both. Sometimes resolving the secular side opens up. Now, one of my next video I'm going to do, you're going to enjoy this word. This is a great word that you have to do. I'm going to deal with the word stress. What is stress? How does it work? How do you change stress? Is stress normal or not normal? I'm going to go into the word stress. I've been studying that word for over 40 decades. 4 decades, not 40. 4 decades. So really understanding that word allows you to change yourself to get into a meditative state. If you have stress, you cannot meditate. That's the word. Too tight. Too tense. The body's too tense. The mind's Words. The thing is, the more tight your words you use in your head, your thinking, it'll be this, this, this. If you want to say calm, you use these words to yourself and to anyone out there. When you're angry, you use these words. When you're not angry, you use those words. Why? Because you're expressing your emotions of that time. You express through your body, you express through your heart, your brain, and your mind. You're making a judgment that's negative or that's fearful or whatever. So changing your words, your thoughts, comes with changing your language, putting new sentences of thought. That's why you need to be open. You have to be humble. There. Now, the fourth aspect of being human is spirituality. So you have a choice when you meditate to be secular. That comes in handy sometimes to deal with certain issues. But I don't care for it. Like Buddhism. Buddhism does not have a God. They deny it because that's suffering. If you have a God. Where Christianity says there is a God and suffering is viewed very differently. You resolve it. You bring it in. You let it be. It's reality. I like physics because it's reality. And the more you understand life is suffering, of the great philosophers and the Greeks and everything, everyone's trying to, how do you deal with suffering? Because it's the nature of being human, being born. It's the challenge. Suffering is a challenge. Take it up. Don't waste your time on alcohol or other drugs. It's time. Value time. You only got so much, as the Hindus say, you only have so many breaths. Extend your breath out, you extend your time out, is one of their thoughts. That's just a thought I liked a long time ago. But you have a fixed amount of time, and then you're gone. Your spirit is out of you. You go to another realm. And we'll get into that some other time. But that's right, happens. That is a fact. Your spirit, that's your fusion of body. The body is cold. The fact that you're producing energy involved, that illustrates a spirit in a person. So really understanding your spirit is real. And what happens after your body goes cold. And that's another area of video in itself. But you have to understand what will give you the greatest question. What will you let your heart be the highest of? By giving your suffering away, out, resolving it, the suffering, realizing it, and then allowing something else that's far, far more intriguing. Because when you say spirituality, you're looking for other forces, energy forces. I'll use that word energy in the broadest sense of the word. It's a force to come into you, flow through you, and then you express it out again. It's an interaction. As one of my old textbooks I like in speech and communication says, what is the definition of humans? Electrochemical interacting within an environment. That's cold. All you are is an electrochemical interacting with your environment. There's a longer version of it. It goes in more detail, but that's what I distilled it down to. Oh, I'm just electrochemical interacting with my environment. No soul, no connection, emotional connection. That whole thing that's been distorted in our culture because it's cynical. It's nihilistic, it's cynical, involved, and you lose purpose when you're that way. You lose context of how can I say, unique you are and what you can do. Be the captain to direct yourself is the goal. The idea of what it takes to be a captain of these forces and to meditate. And picking the right meditation is another, if you want to say, another challenge. To achieve what? To resolve your alcohol suffering, create a new reality out there. You do this long enough, in a way, people can say you, because you're changing your body, you're changing your heart of expression. It's not negative anymore. And I can prove most everything I say in a physical way. You have positive items around you, it actually affects your heart. You have negative items around you, things, it actually makes you physically weaker. And I can prove it. But that's a whole nother realm. That's how I know it's true. I'm very trying to be very real. I have to be. But really, the idea of the body, the 4 energy channels that you work with during while you're meditating, the mind, how you shape it, how you view it, affects how you direct it. So being the conductor and the captain of you, being the director of those forces, those 3 forces I said, actually 4 forces. That's the breath, the body, the brain, that's thought. What abstract new words? Increase your vocabulary, you increase your range of thinking ability. Put those words together in forms, it makes you open. Put these words, you can put words together to be negative, you look tougher, stronger, whatever. And what attitude do you really want to have in this world? It's the attitude change that you have to work on. That affects, because attitude is an emotional state that projects through your body and your words, the tone of your words involved. So really understanding the power to meditate. It's a physical event. And what you're doing, you're affecting your brain, your mind, your heart, and your soul, if you go into spirituality involved. You can do anything. When you meditate, period, you're using all those forces. And if you think of resolving your drug issue, your alcoholism, and then replacing it with a new state each day, go into your breath, work on your body in a way of shaping it a different way, using your feet up, using your toes even, for your breath and blend. Then the brain, add new, like praying, using new words, but understanding the definition of each word. The more clarity you have on the words you use and how to use them in a way that affects what? Your attitude. You have the alcohol attitude, the non-alcohol, and the resolved attitude that you grow with. You grow from alcoholism by resolving it, separating it, make it not having a force on that. Eventually with the emotions, if the emotions aren't there to alcoholism, the thought might be there, that's the brain, but the body will not respond. That's the name of the game, changing. I got a whole series on that one involved. And I can prove you. I can back it up in my own ways involved. This is research. So, my next video is going to be on the word stress. If you can't change your stress, here's what I'm saying. If you can't change your stress, you cannot change your emotional, physical reality. And stress is physical. It's up in your shoulders, your face. That's another area go into. Then that affects the body. So many ways. Sometimes the body can lead the head, the mind, or the mind leads the body. And I'm advocating the mind, being a conductor, leads the body to alter the attitude of expression, to open your heart up, your life, to see more, feel more, to be more as we get older. Because time stops eventually. We all die. I am in my 7th decade, and I am looking at a cemetery. So I'm not long here, and I'm just trying to prevent the suffering I've seen so often in alcohol. Been around it, seen it. It's so sad on there. I don't have that issue, but I have other issues. We never get rid of issues. That's the challenge. I'm going to use males. That's the challenge of a male, to travel. We climb mountains. It's amazing. We get bored if we don't have a challenge. And either one or two, we drink, or go create something, or go destroy something. Destroying is more common, it's easier. creating something requires more mental focus and building something up. So really understanding being generous comes into play because it can open up your heart more and resolve things. Again, what attitude do you want to have in life? Because the way it's your attitude you're living with, and others have to live with it too, and you affect other people. Your very existence affects everything around you, around the planet. I'll even go that in the universe itself. Why I say that? Because you're producing either good energy, poor energy, or negative energy. And that influences ever so subtle everything. That's another way of looking at things from an energy point of view, which I do first. I go energy, physical, mental. Then I go mental, physical, energy. And it's just physics involved. You have no idea. And how religions, every culture has a religion. I've studied and involved. Now there's a couple major ones we'll go into later. But right now, I just want you to understand. One, think of your mind as a way of learning how to conduct either an orchestra or a choir. All the things you have to know to create something. And a meditation is like a script. It's like the music for an orchestra to do. You meditate in relation to context of meditation script. It's like you're going to pray, but which prayer are you going to use? Make distinctions. You've got to be clear. Cannot emphasize enough to affect you. Because once you get that down, you're doing a purpose. You're trying to achieve something and within the script of the meditation itself. Now, you have to excuse me. I'm not the clearest. This is off the cuff of my head. So bear with me. But the next video is going to be on the word stress. And that will be a great altering effect. If you can't change your stress, you can't change your emotional, physical reality. And that's why people drink. I know males do. Is that they are stressing out, give me a beer, I'll relax. And watch football games, some sport involved. So really appreciate the idea of resolving your addictions and moving on. Value time. Because for sure, why do you think you have retirement? Because your body gives out after time. You don't have the energy, you don't have the focus, things change the mind. It's such a change when you get, especially when you're in your 7th decade. It's rough. Because every day is a new challenge. Every day, okay, what part of my body is going to hurt, not hurt, or be able to do? So it's fun. Yeah, you got to have a good time with it because time ends. We all pass on. And to what? And how your soul is, how you've created your soul is another question. And I'm not going into that one. That's a whole area of contemplation and ideas. So understanding, you have a soul, you have a heart. I define the heart, and it has energy that's projecting out by measurement 75. So it's actually farther because our equipment can't record it. You're going out. That's a powerful thing. The mind is separate from the brain. A brain, what do you fill the brain with? What words, what attitude, what do you watch on the computer involved? So really, the more you watch bring into your brain, it affects the mind, and it's destroying time. So really understanding value your time, and what do you want to create? An attitude, that word attitude. Really look up what do you do, and look at yourself from the attitude point of view. Are you calm? Are you whatever? What does alcohol produce as an attitude for you? So what is that? All the pain of being an alcoholic way back, all the family dramas of the past. Dissolve it, resolve it. That's the key, so you can create forward. The more you ponder the past, the more you're stuck, and you cannot create because of time. So the next time with the video of stress, please look at my words and how the definitions and then how I'm using those words. And any comment. I love a discussion because it draws more out of me, the interaction. But you people that have alcohol problems and stuff, the suffering level of that just is, you're suffering anyway, but it's fixated here. Why not suffer by resolving, working to resolve? And ability to meditate, which means you're incorporating your breath, your body, in the way it's shaped, the energy channels, and your brain and your mind. If you're not engaging all those parts, 4 parts, you're not meditating, you're thinking. You're focused. So many times use that word, oh, meditate on this word or whatever. Well, you want me to think about it more. You want me to understand more. So the misuse of the word meditation and meditating is what I'm trying to get cleared up to be more dynamic and try it out. That's all I'm saying, is try it out. So anyway, you have a very good day, a blessed day involved, and strive for clarity. There'll be more videos, and I have techniques. That comes much later, but you have to understand your own power to resolve suffering of alcoholism, drug use, and create from there. Have a good day.